Welcome back. In today's video, I'll be teaching you about HTML style. Okay, so the HTML style attribute. Okay, so without any further ado, let's begin this video. Okay, so let's open up our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so you have all of this zoomed in. Okay, first of all, I already had open this up. So before actually demonstrating you what does the style attribute do, let me just make the note of it. And explain to you. Okay, so the HTML style attribute is used to add styles to an element such as color, font, size, and more. Okay, so you're gonna add style to any element using the style attribute. Okay, so let me just note that down first. Style attribute. Okay, so use the style attribute. This is used to add styles to an element such as color. Okay, so you can add any type of color to an element, font size or font size etc. Okay, so these things can be done using the style attribute. Okay, and let me just comment this out so that it would look like, I'm sorry, what's done? Okay, so that it would look like a note. Okay, so you have it. So here we have it. Okay, so inside these comment tags, here we have the note, which is about the style attribute. Okay, let me just show you the demonstration and show you how does it work. Okay. So the style attribute can be used with any element you like. Okay, so you can use it with any element. Okay, so let's say we have. I want to use with the p element, meaning that I want to style the p element, meaning I'm gonna have a paragraph. Let's say the paragraph says, "This is an awesome HTML course." Okay, this is an awesome HTML course. So here we have it, the text written inside the paragraph tag, and I'm gonna open up in the live server. Okay, so this is an awesome HTML course. It's been written right over there. Okay, so I'm going to use the style attribute for doing something. For styling it. Okay, so for styling purpose. Okay, so what it says, contains CSS styling declarations to be applied to the element. Know that it is recommended for styles to be defined in a separate file or files. This attribute and the style element have mainly the purpose of allowing for quick styling. For example, for testing purposes. Okay, so let me just explain what is he saying. Okay, so the style attribute is an attribute to add CSS. Okay, so you can do this by creating a separate file and a CSS file, and you can write CSS code to handle this, to style this. Okay, you could also use the style attribute also for using the CSS properties. Okay, so inside the style attribute, you're gonna be using CSS properties which will decorate or style the content inside of this. Okay, so but the recommended thing is using the CSS. Using CSS instead of using here inside this attribute. Okay, so, but for testing purposes and for quick demonstrations, you can also use here too. Okay, but this is not recommended to actually do like this. Okay. So here we have this style attribute, and inside of this, actually, I'm going to use some properties. Okay, so what are properties? Okay, so you're going to have the what do you say, the syntax. The syntax. Let me just note down the syntax here because I should have explained this before the demonstration. Okay, so the syntax would look something like this. Okay, so there you're going to have any tag name, meaning any tag. Okay, you have so any tag that we have is going to be there, and then here we're gonna use the style attribute. Style is equal to, and then we're gonna have the quotation mark, just like here we have a quotation mark. Okay, and a pair of quotation mark, and inside the quotation mark you're gonna have a property. Okay, and it's a value. Okay, so you're gonna have a CSS property and the value of that property. Okay, so the CSS property will specify actually what style you adding. Okay, so are you adding any type of font or color or anything else? Okay, so the property will explain about that. What kind of style is that, and the value will specify the value. Okay, for example, the property can be the color and the style can be the name of the color. Okay, okay. And then next you can have the closing tag. Yeah, okay. So you have it. So it's going to be like that if you have just one tag, and if you also have the ending tag, then it will look something like this. Okay. So this was the syntax here given. You can note that down. Okay. So let me just explain this thing right over here. Okay. So you can have the property. Let's say the property is color. Okay. So we're using the color property. So let's say the color be blue. Okay. So blue. So the color be blue, then this color is going to be blue. So the color of this will be styled as blue. Okay. Open up in the live server. Okay, it's given here. Its default is black, but as we have styled this to be blue, it's blue. Okay. So change this to blue. Okay. So this is the beauty of CSS. Okay. Okay. So this was about that, and this was only the color property. You can actually deal with any property that you want. Okay. So let's say in case we want to style another thing. Let's say the background color. Then you can add background color here, and its value. Okay. There after the semicolon. Okay. But you don't have to worry about these things if you have a good text editor. Okay. This way, I mean the syntax and these errors, because this will just come automatically if you have a good text editor. Okay. Like the Visual Studio Code. Okay. So background color, say we're going to specify this to be red. Okay. Then its color will be red. It's background color, not color. Okay. So here you can see the color of this is red, but the text is still black, the default. Okay. Text is the default black. This doesn't change. This hasn't changed. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So I guess background color or anything else. Let's say the font size this time we're gonna increase. Okay. So you can increase the font size also. Okay. So let's see, we want the font size to be 20 pixel. Okay. So its size will be increased. Okay. So it already has increased. If you notice the difference, then you select this. Let's increase this to 30 pixel this time. Okay, so as you can see, this has increased. We have increased the font size. Okay. Moving on. Okay, next thing. You can do any style with it as you want. Okay. So another property that we can use might be changing its font family. Its font. Okay. So you can use the font family property. Let's say sans serif. Okay. Okay. So sans serif, then it has changed its font. Font has changed to sans serif. Okay, as you can see the difference here. Okay, so what is sans serif? Sans serif is that you're not going to have the edges at the end. Okay, or those strokes at the end. If you haven't understood, then I'll actually do a separate video into that. Okay, this is not today's topic. Okay, what can we do next? Okay, so you can do next thing like aligning this in the center. Okay, so I can use this text align property. Text align property. Okay, so let's say we're going to center this. Okay, it will come in the center. There are other values to this as well. Like if you don't want to center this, let's say text align. If you don't want to center this, then there are other values like and. It will come at the end, as you can see here. Okay, so it's placed at the end. You can also place it in the beginning, just like default. Okay, so it will look something like this. Start. Okay, it will come at the beginning. You don't need to do that because it's by default. Okay, so these things can be done using the style attribute. Okay, so, but you better handle this using CSS. Okay, so we're going to learn about that later. But learning about this was also important. Okay, okay. So let me just make another note. Okay, so the properties here that can be used are not on here. So the properties that you can use is the background color, you just number this. Okay. Background color. Okay. So you can use the background color property. Another property that you might use is the color property. Okay. You don't mind these. Next can be the font. Okay, the font. So what kind of font you want? Okay, you want to use. Next can be your font size. Font size. Okay. Number 5, text align property. Text align. I mean, where you want to align the text. Where you want to place the text, at the end, or in the center, or in the beginning. Okay. Okay. So this is pretty much the properties that you can use. Okay. So you can have the values of this background color, any value that you want. I mean, any color that you want to give it to. Color again is about color. Font, any size that you want to give. I mean, any font you want to give it to. Font size is about size. The value, the corresponding value can be given. Okay. So this was about the font size. I mean, the style attribute. So I hope you have enjoyed the video and have learned something new. Okay. See you soon in another video.